Chapter 3. Bounty Hunter Dark Sparrow. Dark Sparrow, a 22-year-old woman with short black hair and dark brown eyes, was wearing a custom-made black sleeveless bulletproof vest with high-tech equipment, revealing her Dark Sparrow insignia on her right deltoid. She read the sign on the classroom door, Ms. Jennelan's Life Skills class. Glaring into Dr. Tracy Jennelan's eyes as she approached her classroom 1 minute late, Dark Sparrow reached out her hand and introduced herself. "Hello. You must be Dark Sparrow. Welcome to Gwenvale High," Dr. Jennelan introduced herself happily. She kept her arms by her side, refusing to shake hands. "I will go back inside and call you in shortly to speak. Thank you for coming to talk about your line of work. Hurry up. I've got places to be," Dark Sparrow demanded. As Dr. Jennelan opened her classroom door, her students shouted, "Good morning, Ms. Jennelan," welcoming their teacher lovingly. "Good morning, class. I see everyone is here except for Scarlett. She might be here later, or maybe not," Dr. Jennelan said curiously. A few students called out. One said, "Miss, I think she came in earlier. How about you search the stage?" Behind the portable whiteboard was a single platform stage. This classroom was once a drama room. Now, as Dr. Jennelan's Life Skills classroom, it was still the storage area for props, costumes, and archival material. Dark Sparrow observed while the teacher was searching through the costumes that were hanging up. "No Scarlett here. Maybe she is behind the velvet drapes." Walking past fake boulders, trees, and frogs, Dr. Jennelan looked behind the velvet drapes. Suddenly a teenage girl with red hair jumped out from her hiding place beneath a dome-shaped frog. "Surprise!" she shouted out. Dr. Jennelan pretended to be frightened. "Scarlett is present, miss," the girl said, skipping to her seat in the center of the front row. Dark Sparrow rolled her eyes at the childish behavior. "Gwenvale Children's Hospital has invited us to dress up in costumes in support of their 7th annual Ray of Hope Day on June 21st. Today we have a guest who is a bounty hunter ready to talk to you all about law enforcement. I strongly believe this is an introduction most suitable for our friend Edward the cat." Dr. Jennelan winked. Pulling out a large metal box from underneath her desk, Dr. Jennelan unfastened the locks. She pulled out a wooden marionette of a humanoid hairless sphinx cat wearing a business suit. Grey rubber covered the marionette's face. Dr. Jennelan projected her voice. "Good morning, class." Meow, meow. All students responded, "Good morning, Edward the cat. How was your trip to Italy?" The marionette opened his arms wide. "I had the best holiday eating pizza and pasta, meow, meow. For now, I hear we have a special guest with a delicious surname, meow, meow. From all of us in Life Skills class, let's welcome our guest speaker, Dark Sparrow, meow, meow." Students cheered and applauded. Dark Sparrow stood next to Dr. Jennelan, biting her bottom lip and frowning. A Life Skills class for the underachievers where you're playing peekaboo and talking to a puppet. What the hell is wrong with your teaching methods? Dark Sparrow said to Dr. Jennelan. Turning to the class, she said, raising her voice so everyone could hear, "Students, let me tell you about life. It's much harder than you realize. Ms. Jennelan, give her a stress ball before she takes her anger out on Edward the cat, meow, meow," Scarlett said mockingly. Scarlett remained calm, smirking at Dark Sparrow. "As a bounty hunter, my job is to work very closely with the police, not pussycats. We bounty hunters do all sorts of jobs, from arresting to serving court orders and the occasional repossession." Principal Childers popped his head inside. "Sorry, class. I need to speak to your teacher." "Then I need to speak to you, Dark Sparrow." Once Dr. Jennelan stepped out, Scarlett laughed. "So, Dark Sparrow, is that really your name, or is this an intimidation? Because everyone knows that Jane Turner makes the most disreputable arrests. Or am I using too many big words for an underachiever's class?" Dark Sparrow glared back at Scarlet and the rest of the class. The nail that stands up is the one that gets hammered down. A word of advice to everyone: live your life only for yourself, and never volunteer your time, because no one will ever give your time back. Dr. Genelan called to Dark Sparrow, asking her to come outside. Work only to get paid in full, never on an IOU agreement. Dark Sparrow grimaced as she stepped out of the classroom. Dark Sparrow, this is Eric Fitzgerald, 6th generation owner of Golden Sun Country Club. And this is Peter Richardson, a volunteer therapist who is the head of human resources for NEV. Dr. Genelan did not introduce the two FBI agents standing by. She commented, "That will be all for today, Dark Sparrow. A word of advice: look past your own life's pain and think about what someone else is going through. Do not be quick to judge someone if you do not like being judged. You are very young but not too young to know right from wrong. Take a walk in someone else's shoes to see things from their perspective." Dr. Genelan walked back into her classroom, shutting the door behind her. "So, what do you two want with me?" Dark Sparrow asked the men. Peter Richardson answered, "Today at 7 o'clock I witnessed what I believe was a man in a cyborg suit fighting Troy Marino. I would just sound foolish if I were to give a full statement to the police or the FBI on this matter. I could be locked up for telling them the truth. And believe me, as a counselor, I will find myself locked in Gwenvale Asylum. That is where Eric comes in and I step aside." Eric Fitzgerald reached out his hand to shake Dark Sparrow's. She purposely folded her hands in her arms. "Talk, Fitzgerald. You'd better be offering me something good," Dark Sparrow said. $2 million as a side bounty for his arrest. And you only get the money when the job is done. The cyborg must be either arrested or killed. I am sure you will do what is right. Dark Sparrow spit into her hand, ready to confirm she would take the job. Eric shook her hand, not hesitating. "Deal, sweetheart." Ignoring Fitzgerald's statement, Dark Sparrow turned to face the two FBI agents waiting down the hall. "Hey, boys, what are you both up to?" Before they could answer, Dr. Genelan walked out with her students. They were all wearing bright orange safety vests labeled NEV. "I need to go now and volunteer. Keep your chin up, Eric. You may feel overwhelmed, but I assure you that what does not kill you will make you stronger," Peter Richardson said as he followed Dr. Genelan, walking by her side. Once the class left, Dark Sparrow approached the two agents. "What are you two dinguses doing here besides eavesdropping?" The two agents introduced themselves. "I am FBI agent Cameron Banks, and this is my rookie in training, Mr. Harvey Gregson." Agent Banks's orange beard and hair reminded Dark Sparrow of a Viking. He had wide shoulders and bad breath. His rookie looked absent-minded, not that it mattered. Agent Cameron Banks handed Dark Sparrow 3 files. One file is of an Asian boy aged 9 named Du Hein. Last seen 5 years ago after he was adopted, right before his foster parents' untimely deaths. No bodies have been found, so Jane Turner is also acting independently on this case. Dark Sparrow quickly glanced at the file, then closed it. The FBI are puzzled. Nankin City currently has 55 missing children who came from separated and divorced families who are all victims of Nigel Giovanni. Agent Banks cringed. The late Zonal Giovanni and Nigel Giovanni are a father-son duo. One was a drug lord who is dead, and the other is an oxygen thief. Oxygen thief is the euphemistic phrase for a pedophile. The second file, as you can see, is labeled Marcus Johnson. This is a man who has made bail more times than anyone in Nankin City history. Marcus is the key suspect in the strangulation murder of Zonal Giovanni, a man so evil that no police officer, lawyer, or judge could prosecute him due to fear and lack of evidence. Zonal Giovanni's son, Nigel, now age 30, was on death row 2 years ago for numerous child exploitation offenses. Nigel has not been seen anywhere in the United States. After having made many attempts to bring him down, police officers were shot to death. And the children in their custody went missing. The FBI needs to broaden its horizons to find every missing child who has been a victim of Nigel. So, what does Marcus Johnson have to do with Zonal and Nigel? Besides the fact that Marcus killed Zonal Giovanni. We also know Troy Marino knocked Nigel out cold, ending his mixed martial arts career. Dark Sparrow laughed darkly. Agent Cameron Banks continued to explain. The murder happened on the Tyson River train bridge 7 years ago on June 21st, right before midnight. Marcus loves this location, so I presume Zonal Giovanni knew where to find him. Well, Janet Munson uses cyberbullying to get people involved in matters about which they clearly lack an informative understanding. Dark Sparrow had a flashback of Zonal Giovanni stabbing a young boy in the stomach. Her stepbrother Ken was only 10 years old when he died. 3 cheers to Marcus. He only forgot to kill the oxygen thief. Although, was he not residing in Gwenvale Asylum? Photographic and written evidence shows Marcus writing the date June 21st on almost all pieces of evidence prior to the incident. I trust Marcus is likely organizing something from solitary confinement at Gwenvale Asylum. Marcus resides in the Genelan wing in Cell 1 with many restrictions placed upon him, shutting out the outside world. I wanted to speak to Tracy before she barged out with her class of misfits. Agent Banks frowned. Agent Banks whispered, after this final offense, Marcus did not attempt to make bail. It was like he wanted to be arrested by Jane Turner, who is also a very close friend. Jane Turner is a famous bounty hunter who cannot take this case due to a conflict of interest. Banks showed no expression as he continued. Don't tell anyone, but most of the evidence against Marcus has suddenly gone missing from police and FBI files. No comment was made. Dark Sparrow did not look inside Marcus's file. The third file belongs to Jane Turner. Jane gave character references for 3 out of the 4 families who have adopted in the last 6 years. An important piece of information to add is that Marcus Johnson and Jane Turner were best friends when they worked at Gwenvale Children's Hospital, mostly the night shift. Until his ex-wife made a statement claiming he had strangled her, no one knew what had happened behind closed doors. Marcus obviously knows how to kill a man by strangulation because that is how he killed Zonal Giovanni. Dark Sparrow slapped her own face. Well, duh. Marcus killed Zonal Giovanni. Everyone knows that. Taking the file, she tore the seal, very keen to track down Jane Turner. Reading through Turner's file, Dark Sparrow said, I see Mayor Jefferson has requested my help personally for this one. Eric Fitzgerald interrupted, grabbing Dark Sparrow's shoulder. Remember that you will be working for me, Princess. You will not have time for Jefferson's politics. Spinning her police tomfah toward Eric's face, Dark Sparrow said, Final warning, my name is Dark Sparrow. Got it? Stuttering, Fitzgerald replied, Yes. Yes, Dark Sparrow. Clear. Crystal clear. Lowering her police tomfah, she said, Good. As for you two, she said, nodding toward Agent Banks and the rookie, I will report to Mayor Jefferson. For now, bugger off. I need take a statement from Fitzgerald in private. After Agent Cameron Banks and the rookie Harvey Gregson walked away, Eric Fitzgerald commented, I did not mean to eavesdrop, but I have a restraining order against Marcus Johnson for assault. Marcus used to cook for me until he raved on and swore at me as he tried to force me to sign reference documents. In a separate event, police investigated and found inside his locker a bag of weed labeled chocolate mint. I have lost many good staff members because of him getting my staff to join him. Dark Sparrow stuck out her tongue. You complain too much, sissy girl. You pay minimum wage, force people to work overtime for no pay, and don't provide dental. What did you think was going to happen? I ask questions, you answer them. Now what other assets do you have? And where do you live, so I can personally protect you in your home?